So welcome back to At Home with the Harriets. We are really enjoying this journey. The feedback that you're giving us is incredible. So thank you for joining. We're enjoying it, right, baby?
I am loving it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've when the first episode went live, that was really exciting to know that we've built up to that stage, and every single stage has been really enlightening. And it's just actually really nice that we're just on camera, being ourselves,
having a chat.
speaking, having a chat, and sharing our insights with everyone who wants to listen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So today,
Right.
we wanted to look at the idea of marriage as you know it and marriage as you live it. And you came up with that title. I really like it.
I did. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I was just like, some people place marriage is a big thing, and especially if you believe in marriage, it's a major decision to make in life. And I'm glad that we made ours out of love, not by force. We made it out of choice.
It wasn't an arranged marriage.
No,
Yeah.
because we wanted to take things to the next level.
Yeah.
And then also for me, all the women in my family got married at 30.
Yeah.
And so when I got married at 27, I did kind of think, oh, hold on a minute, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But, you know, it was something that I definitely always visualized as a child. I knew that I wanted to get married. I knew that I wanted to be a wife and a mother. I always wanted that vision for myself because I'd seen such great examples of it. And so, yeah, marriage as you know it, it involves so many things, like leading up to that date, from the engagement to the preparation before the marriage. And we were kind of before that whole social media surge of I'm going to have 17 million bridesmaids, which no offense to anyone that has done that, because it can be hard to choose. And groomsmen and stuff. But I think it would be really great for us to talk about our preparation.
Preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how we went through the process.
Okay.
Do you want to lead?
Well, I think we always talk about our premarital counselling.
Yes.
And, you know, everyone knows like central to our life is our faith. It's our relationship with God. And we had premarital counselling from our pastor at church. It was a time for us when we had premarital counselling to really start shedding things from the past, to have really open, honest conversations about everything from our expectations to intimacy, to, again, you know, how we're going to worship and our relationship with God and where we want to live and just how you want to prepare the foundation of the marriage.
And to make sure that you're, as you say, and we're on the same path. We want the same things. We have the same desires. And I remember some of our friends who weren't necessarily in church or, you know, have faith. They were like, premarital counselling. I've never heard of that. I thought that was something that you do when you're, God forbid, going through a divorce or something like that, or your marriage is in trouble. But no, it's so important to discuss things beforehand. Because yes, love is the key, and it's primarily the biggest thing and reason why you want to get married, but you must know who you're marrying. I think that's so important, and what you're marrying, what you're marrying into. And, you know, it can be things as well, like your families. Who, you know, what is your family? What's your family background? Are you a close-knit family? Are you, because you don't want to discover all of these things, which some people do. They'll say like, oh, you know, I was in the whirlwind phase of love is, and, you know, head over heels, and then they get married and they think, who is this person? I know nothing about them. Yeah,
Definitely. So we were very clear about what we wanted our wedding to be like.
Yes.
How long we wanted to be engaged for, potentially where we wanted to live. You know, we were having really open conversations very early. And
you touched on something, though, that was really relevant. You said, which I agree, in order to move forward, which is that was what we wanted to do and take our relationship to a whole nother level. Some people don't realise how important it is to get rid of the past. Like, talk about it and move on from it. Rather than, you know, you go in for a new door, new chapter, but you're dragging all the old with you.
The baggage.
Yeah.
And also to talk about parents and think about, you know, we talk about it as baggage, but it's trauma. Trauma from, you know, historical trauma from family situations or from previous relationships. You want to get it all out on the table. And you also want to talk about secrets that nobody else knows, because you and your partner, or for us, we wanted to make sure that there was nothing that was left unsaid. So we went on that journey together. And I remember us saying, right, we got engaged in...
Do you know, I don't actually know when we got engaged.
No, it was your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
It was your birthday, It was your birthday. So we got engaged on your birthday in June.
Oh my goodness.
And then we got married the following March.
10 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were really like, on it in
Yeah.
terms of like, we didn't want to have 2 or 3 years of engagement.
No.
We were clear.
Particularly you didn't. You were like, no, I'm not waiting
No,
forever.
why are we waiting?
No,
We know, we've been together when we were younger as
Yeah.
children. We've had, how many years apart?
Young adults, not children.
Young adults.
Yeah.
How many years apart did we have?
8.
8 years apart. So
Yeah.
we came back together. I was very clear.
Yeah.
This is it. So yeah, we didn't wait around, and it was amazing. And I think some of the things in terms of marriage as you know it, I had an idea of what I thought marriage would be.
Yeah. And I just want to recap there for anyone new who's listening or tuning in. We dated when we were young, 18. I was 18. He was 16.
Yeah.
We had a relationship for 18 months.
Yes.
And then
yes.
we split
Yes.
for good reasons, because we obviously had to see the world grow, develop. We dated
Yeah.
others whilst we were still trying to find ourselves and everything, but our hearts were always connected as one. We always knew that you were my first love, I was your first love. So we were like, when we did finally come back together 8 years later, it was like, let's do this now.
Let's do this.
Yeah, definitely.
And also we had to, being really honest, we were in relationships, and I remember us giving each other, again, this is about the preparation.
Yeah.
But I remember us saying to each other, look, something is drawing us back together. We don't want to hurt the people that we're with. And we're not going to do something that's going to be, behind people's backs. We're not going to get involved in that.
No.
So I remember us giving ourselves a time to actually go back to our partners, which was really difficult.
Very.
And say that we're going to end those relationships because we want to marry. It's not I'm going to end my relationship and then I'm going to go and date somebody else.
No.
And that was difficult, but that was all part of our prep.
Yeah, part of the preparation and starting on a clean slate.
Clean slate, yeah.
So we we had the marriage prep.
Yeah.
Which involved so many different things,
Yeah.
but was amazing and enlightening at the same time.
Yes.
And it's amazing that when you say you hear about the past, but you're going to let it go and then move on, it just creates a different space. But I feel that it did also because we did it all under the guidance of, that was a part of our Christian faith, Christianity. We were very adamant that we were both on the same page, and we wanted to move forward for a faith-based marriage, which just means that, for us, it meant that whatever we went through, whatever we experienced, we made God the center from the beginning.
Yeah, and still do.
And still do. Yeah. And for some that don't understand that, or, it's definitely something I would say research, get to know, but always remember, I feel like with our faith, it's our own personal journey.
Yeah.
So what we went through and experienced is going to be completely different to somebody else. And respectfully so, it should be.
Yeah.
There's no it must be this way, it must be that way, because as individuals, you're different anyway.
Yeah, it's your own journey.
Yeah,
definitely.
So we had our marriage prep, as we said, and then we had the build up to the wedding.
Yeah.
Now, I find this quite amazing because most husbands, and this isn't to generalise, but that I've met or come across or we've spoken to, they don't want anything to do with the wedding. It's normally the wife that goes, this is fine, the wife that goes guns blazing. She's like, I want this, I want the colour scheme, I want this, that and the other. And, they're fully involved. And right from the very start, you were like, 2 of us are getting married. I want to be really involved in this process. Why do you think you were like that? I've never actually asked you. I just found it amazing.
I'm getting married once. It's going to be once in my life, right? And I've often said to you that, and we'll save this for another episode, but I said to you from the beginning, divorce is not a question. I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. So whatever we're doing, we ride this together.
Yeah, you did.
And that's about that. Marriage for eternity. We'll have our marriage on earth, and then we'll have our marriage in eternity, right? So if I'm only getting married once, then I want to be involved in every aspect.
Yeah.
The things I'm not going to do, obviously, I didn't come and see the dress.
No, I wouldn't have let you anyway.
No, you had your hen, I had my stag, the things that are protected.
Yeah, but even with your stag, you were very specific with your guys.
Oh, yeah, I was clear. For sure.
You said, I don't want this and I don't want that.
I don't want any strippers.
Yeah, you
I
did.
said, I don't want any strippers. I don't want any woman touching my body, but we can do anything else. And my guys were cool, These were the boundaries that we put in place.
I think you told them that if they did that, you would leave.
Yeah. I just wasn't interested.
No, you wasn't.
And they joked with me for ages about it. But yeah, on the day they came through, we did paintballing, and then myself, my 2 best men, Jade and Graham, and my cousin Richard, we went to Paris.
Yes.
And had an amazing stay in a hotel, a lovely meal, and then came back the next day. But yeah, going back to the idea of like the prep and being involved in the beginning, you and I spoke about everything. We said, if we want to have I don't know, like monkeys dancing down the aisle and everyone goes to us, that's so stupid, we're going to do it. Because whatever we want to do.
We wanted to do for our day, because that goes into as well, leading up to marriage, we decided we're gonna go for a wedding planner. I remember we said that. And we had somebody wanting to put together a vision for us of our day.
Yeah.
But we realised very quickly that the vision was going down more of their path than our path.
Absolutely, I remember
and we
that.
called it.
Yeah,
we said, you know, we really appreciate your time and effort, but that isn't something that's going to work for us, because we don't want to do it that way, or we were very specific with what we wanted. And
so we ended that relationship with the wedding planner.
Yeah.
And
then
we
we also started looking at venues. So I always remember we had family members who, my mum being one primarily, she actually found our wedding venue.
Yeah.
A good couple of months before we actually decided on it, and she was printing things off, I remember, and she was like, what about this one, what about that one, because you'd been quite specific that you didn't want to get married in London.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that.
No.
And you know why.
I know. Yeah. But you were quite adamant about that, and I hadn't really thought about it, because I was still in the thing of, oh my God, goodness, this is really happening, this wedding. And I remember we started viewing some venues, and then we went and viewed the venue of all venues. And it was the first viewing.
Yeah.
And we went.
Beautiful.
We drove our parents absolutely crazy, because in that moment we decided this is it.
Yeah,
and
we went.
Put the deposit
we
down.
went for a viewing.
Yeah.
And the lady said to us, right, so if you want to secure that date, I need a £500 deposit.
Now.
So we said, all right, no problem. So we put it down.
Yeah.
We hadn't thought
about everything else.
About the real cost
No,
of doing this wedding. And
but it was the date we proposed to get married.
Yeah.
Was the 27th of March.
Absolutely.
And that was the only date that
only
venue
date. It would
had.
have been like another year.
Yeah.
So we said we've got to go for it.
And then the same thing happened as well when we started choosing things like the photographer.
Yeah.
That was his only date available. He's an award-winning photographer.
Yeah.
And we were just really excited to work with him, just because his vision and very much matched ours, which was, again, going back to our vision.
Yes.
What we had. Make a vision, make it plain.
Yeah.
Put it to God and run with it.
And we literally put our vision on paper.
Yeah,
we still do to this day.
Yeah.
And we said, this is what we want to see.
Yeah.
And every moment, God met us there.
Yeah.
With all the dates being available, the photographer being available, the dress being right, the suit being right. You know, it all just lined up perfectly.
Yes, but I would say throughout it all, our communication was really strong with each other. Nobody ran ahead with something else and didn't discuss it with the other. So that was a really nice place to be in, because I know as well, speaking from experience, that there are some brides that don't necessarily have that, because the man's like, oh my God, I'll just turn up on the day. Where do you need me to be? Where do you need me to stand? What am I wearing?
Yeah.
But that was never that with you, which I did love.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever told you that, but I did love that you were even interested in what the colour scheme was for the flowers.
Yeah.
So it was like a really enjoyable time and process, and our parents were excited. Everyone was galvanised in this excitement. And one thing that I haven't mentioned, which is major, we also decided to abstain.
We did, yeah. So
So for those who are thinking, abstain from what? We didn't have...
There was no intimate contact at all. There was some kissing, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but not...
From the minute we got engaged, we said we are not going to be intimate until our wedding day.
Yeah.
And
I remember your dad laughing. He was like...
Yeah, he was like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
And some of my friends were like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we had some moments. I remember we travelled together.
Yes, we did.
We stayed in the same hotel. I was DJing somewhere and we travelled.
Europe.
Tenerife.
Yeah.
And we travelled, didn't, and
that might be a bit personal for some, but we didn't, because we said that once we commit on that day and we consummate our marriage, we want to start from afresh.
And also we were both still living at home.
Yes.
So that made it, a bit easier. We hadn't moved in together.
No.
But there was something about abstaining because we wanted to release the past. And we went and, this is deep and we share it with our personal people, but we'll say it. We went and got tests. I remember through our premarital counselling, I remember our pastor saying you should go and get tests for sexually transmitted diseases and for HIV.
And at the time, people are like, what?
And
Who?
we were like, what?
But there was no fear, number one, because there wasn't any, but it was just knowing who you are marrying.
Who you're marrying.
What you're marrying. If anything comes up in these tests, then at least you know. Yeah. And we can laugh about it now, but I never forget when we went for the results.
Oh, man.
And I swear the doctor or nurse was literally
It was
on
a,
the
it was
wind
the
up
doctor.
with us.
I remember her clearly.
Yeah, she saved,
Yeah,
gave
tell the
mine
story.
fast.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, all clear.
So we did the results, then
did
we
the
had to
results.
come
I was like,
back.
yeah.
I'm sorry, we did the tests.
Yeah.
Then we had to come back maybe, I don't know, a week or two later.
Yeah.
And then tell
At
it
the
from
time,
this
and she was
point.
really like, she was really quick with mine. Yep, all fine, all clear,
Yeah.
no problems here, blah, blah, blah. And then I think she said to me,
Yeah.
how would you feel if, because she was just like, you two are just so in love. It's
Yeah,
amazing to see. And how would you feel if there was anything?
Yeah, she said, before I give you his
Oh.
results. No, let's be clear. Before I give you his results,
Yeah.
what I'm about to tell you,
Oh, I got the feeling,
if it,
even as
if
you
it
say
if it's something you were not expected, would it change your marriage? Would you guys still get married?
And we both
We looked at
confidently
each other and said, yeah,
yes,
we love each other.
would.
Whatever happens, we're going to do this together.
Yeah, we
and what
do.
did she do? Okay, I'd like to tell you that your results are clear.
We're like,
and you
why
know,
did
why
you
did you?
do
Yeah,
that?
your results are clear. You lot are good.
Yeah.
But again, that was part of the premarital prep for us. And
Very much so.
yeah, and then that led us up to that 10-month period where we
Yeah.
we just really meticulously planned that day.
And as you said, we hadn't lived together.
No,
I came, but we wanted that as well. We wanted to, whatever home we were going to move into, we wanted it to be our first experience of everything. So we've had a lot of firsts together, I would say. And so we're leading up to the day, all the plans, all the preparation, everyone's excited. Another thing that we did, which I'm really proud of, we didn't see each other for the 7
week,
days leading
a
up
week
to the
before
wedding.
the wedding, we didn't
Yeah.
see each other.
And even down to the wedding rehearsals, we did them on you and the guys went in.
Yeah, so my best man had a
Yeah.
walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie.
And your maid of honor, who was your sister, had a walkie-talkie. Because the context is we got married in a village.
Yes.
Outside of London.
Yes.
And we were very blessed. We were married in a castle.
Yeah, which was
And,
incredible.
it's a
True
dream,
fairy tale.
True fairy tale.
Yeah.
But in order for us not to meet,
Yes.
your maid of honor and my best men, they navigated us around the village.
Yeah.
For that 48-hour period on walkie-talkies,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
We did individual rehearsals, which was incredible. But the excitement the night before the wedding,
Yeah.
on the Friday,
Yeah.
all our families, your family, I think, had met up and had like some food and drinks, and my family
Taking
as well.
over the hotel there. Yeah.
The whole village, basically.
Amazing.
And then the Saturday came, and I never forget that morning of having all these butterflies and imagine that all this preparation leading up to this special day was going to take place.
Yeah, it was
on the
was
27th
there.
of March. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember being outside the church, and you were already in. Sorry, I got all tongue twisted there. You were already inside the church, and I was outside, and I was with my dad, bless him, who gave me away. And we've lost him now, but I was so glad that he could be there on that special day, and he was very proud. He was in his top hat
and tails.
and his, looking the whole part. My brother was one of the groomsmen,
Yeah.
and so was your
was my
brother.
brother,
Yeah.
And then I had two best men.
Yeah.
My dad.
And I had some cousins and some of your cousins involved in
Your
the wedding
bridal party, there's about
Bridal
6 or
party.
7.
I think it was 6.
6, yeah.
Yeah,
6
because
bri-
6, yeah. And I remember being outside the church with my dad, and I was just screaming. I was like, I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Like that, yeah. And
we've got that on the video. The whole church is laughing because you were just so eager to get down there.
yeah, and then that walk, like even when I see the video now, we both can contest this. We get stuck in a moment sometimes when we watch the video, and we're just like, wow.
Yeah, it was.
It still feels like yesterday.
Oh, it's still amazing, and
Yeah.
obviously it's a VHS, right? But actually, no, one of our
No, it's
friends
converted
converted to a DVD for us.
Yeah.
Yes, which is amazing. But the original was VHS.
Yeah, wasn't that Richard and Emma?
Rich and Emma. So
Yeah.
so shout out to them because
Yeah,
after
your
the
cousin
wedding,
and his beautiful
again, there were 2 things after the wedding that we, being honest, just couldn't afford to pay
No,
for.
because we'd blown the
We'd
budget.
blown the budget.
Yeah.
And one was our video.
Yeah.
And then the second was our honeymoon. We were not going to have a honeymoon.
No.
So we decided not to have a honeymoon. Not decided, we just couldn't afford it
couldn't
because we had
afford
done
it.
the wedding.
Yeah.
So
And that's being really honest.
oh no, that's absolutely.
Yeah.
So at the wedding,
Yeah.
on the table, we were going through speeches, and it was your mum, your dad, and your auntie. One of them, and forgive us because I just can't remember. I feel like it was your auntie. Said to us, we know that the 2 of you have not prepared for a honeymoon.
Yeah, we had
And,
at all. We were just happy to
we were
go
just
back.
happy, to go back to the house.
Yeah.
And they said, we want to surprise you.
And we were like, surprise us with what? What's happening?
They gave us an envelope.
Yeah.
And in that envelope,
there's a wedding picture with it.
Yeah, was the tickets or information for a hotel, our flights.
Yeah, and we were leaving the next day.
We're leaving the next day, and we had spending money as well.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
Incredible.
And then when you said about my cousin Richard and his beautiful wife Emma, they just turned up at our house one day.
Yeah.
And they said, we want to show you lot something. They had gone to the videographer. They had paid the remaining amount for us and bought the video to our house.
Yeah.
And we just
wasn't
didn't.
it or was it the photo books? It was something, but we were just like, wow.
Yeah, blown away. And we were going to buy it, but we were just like, we'd have to wait a little bit to get it.
Well, because you're newlyweds. You've got, once we'd got over the absolute excitement of preparing and having our wedding day, then reality hits, which ties in very nicely with marriage.
But, so marriage as you know it, and then marriage as you live it.
As you live it,
right? And I just wanted to say, actually, going back to the wedding day, and there's so much more we could talk about, but I remember on our wedding morning, I was sitting on some stairs in the hotel room. I had some stairs that went down to the bath, and I was sitting on the stairs and I was just sobbing.
Really?
Yeah, like uncontrollably crying. And
I didn't know this.
And my cousin walked in and he said to me, "Oh no, like, bro, what's happened? Are we not doing this? What's happened?"
We're going.
And I just turned to him and I was having a moment. It was a moment with God. And I just said, "I'm so ready for her. I'm so ready."
Oh.
It was just, and that is exactly what happened that morning. But I know my cousin was, he was shocked just for a moment. He thought,
thinking, what is going on?
What am I going to do? How do I keep him here? But it wasn't that. It was just the magnitude of the moment. It just dawned on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm ready to do this. It's beautiful.
That walk down to the aisle and you were at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my friend played me down the aisle. Yeah. And I thought, I remember this. You've just made me think of something here. I remember saying, I'm going to sing my vows because, I want to sing for my husband and it'll be really nice. So I picked a song that I really love. It was Whitney Houston's All the Man That I Need. And I changed all the lyrics for my vows thinking, this is going to be great. She's going to be playing. Oh my goodness. The minute I saw you, everything in my body went in terms of nerves.
Yeah.
And I think I cried all the way through
the song.
All the way through the vows. Like emotionally, not sadness, but just thinking again, the magnitude of what's happening. It was a church within the village as well.
Yes.
The lady marrying us, she was an older lady and she was just like, not many people come out to the church service. It's going to be very small. And we were thinking, you don't know our family, but that's okay.
Totally,
And I think on the day they had over 300 people in the church.
Yeah.
Even she was like, I've never seen it like this. And we
had a gospel choir. We took over that place. Yeah.
We had it was
and we had family flying from different countries.
Yeah.
I think we had people coming from Europe, from Ghana, from America.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. People flew. It was very special.
And at the time we had a pastor, at church we were attending, a younger pastor, and he delivered a message which was really great, that everyone felt that they'd come together as one. So I think everyone around us knew how important our faith was, to the point of where I remember afterwards in the reception, everyone was like, we all feel like we got married. Like we all feel. And to this day, people still comment to us about our wedding and how special it was and how included they felt. Because we wanted to, I think that ties in really well actually as well about our relationship. It's so much love. It's never changed. It's only grown. It's only evolved. And it's out there, it's real. You can have it if you want it. When people, again, say, what's the secret? We've always said God is at the centre of our marriage.
3 of us got married.
3 of us got married. We've always said that.
Yeah, 100%.
3 of us got married. Me, God, and you. And people are like, what are you talking about? But when you know, you know. And we say that because if the wind blows and there's been storms,
100%.
If there's been unsteady, rocky times, we have that in the middle to hold on to. It just gives you a different perception, a different thought process to know that something else is there, that God is there.
Yeah, amazing.
And
for us.
Yeah,
but
that's why we're sharing. People will ask.
Yeah.
So this is us telling you that God is at the centre. Yes. And as well, like, some people be like, oh, I'm not really religious. And I'll also say, I'm not religious. We're not religious.
No.
People will be like, what are you talking about? You said that you're Christians or you believe in God. Yes, we do. But for us, very much so, Christianity is about your faith, your own personal faith and relationship and walk with God. That's what it means to us.
Yeah, it's faith.
So if you ask us, that will always be the answer that you get.
Yeah.
And by that, what do you mean? Well, you know, if whatever I'm going through, whatever you're going through in life, sometimes we'll have quiet times and be like, God, what's going on here? Or I need you to support me here in this space, or what can I do? Or thank you, God, for this. This is amazing. I can never just attribute it to ourselves. I could never take that credit. I wouldn't. It doesn't even sit right. No. So I always give it back to God because it feels better, and I know that's where it comes from.
Sustained us for 21 years.
21 years. 21 we have been sustained by Him. So, and I wouldn't change it.
No. So this is lovely, and we have told a definite positive experience.
Yes.
But again, now, once we moved in. Oh. That's when we actually started to live the marriage.
Yes, right? When we started to live.
You started to live the marriage.
And I say, but it was the differences. So even though we discussed so much before we got married, then we had the tiniest details that you don't realise affect you. No. Like things, do you remember, like I'm a morning person. Yeah. So I'm like up in the morning, curtains drawn, woohoo, new day, yeah.
I said, what is this?
And he was like, no,
said,
curtains closed.
No, we take our time.
TV at night.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because I'm used to getting up, you know, curtains closed, slower, hotel room vibe. And you were like, right, let's go. What are we doing for the day? I was like, no. And then we had to find... We had to meet somewhere in the middle. Yeah, we did. And say, how are we going to do this?
The only thing we didn't meet in the middle was the TV.
No, the TV. You said, really clearly, I'm not going to have TV because I used to fall asleep to the TV as a bachelor. Yeah. And you said, this is not going to work.
No.
So we got rid of that. Yeah. But living together, cooking together, keep shopping, keeping a home together. Oh, you like that kind of stuff? Yeah, I like this kind of stuff. Yeah. Because we hadn't lived together. No. There are things that I need in my shopping basket.
Yeah. And there were things I was like we've kind of touched on this before when we've given teasers to before our major, start on the podcast. Yeah. But there'll be things like you think about food all the time. Now, when I was raised at home with my mum and dad, my mum always, she always took the meat out of the freezer from the night before or whatever she had a plan about what food was coming. There was my brother and sister in the house. And if it wasn't fresh from the butcher's, then it was like, right, we're going to defrost this and prepare this for the day. Yeah. So I was raised like that. So I know it, but it doesn't mean I particularly like that way of doing things because I'm more spontaneous with food. It's like, what am I going to have today? But you were like, that isn't sustainable. Like, why are you not thinking about what we're going to have for dinner?
Let's take the meat out of the freezer. Let's let it defrost. Let's take the fish out. So I'm thinking 24 hours in advance. Yeah. You're like, no, I just want to think 10 minutes before what I want to eat. So generally, we're going to have to get a takeaway or we're going to have to go to the shop, buy something there and then cook it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we have
to
plan.
I think that also showed with us that I'm very spontaneous. Yeah. Now, you are too.
Yeah.
But you're the planner.
Yes.
You're very much the planner, which I think, again, comes down to living with each other. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he likes to plan it and have it structured. She's a bit more, where we go and what we do and let's do it now. And you're like, no. So what happened is, I remember your best man, even on our wedding day, his speech was, Andre, you found the girl to take you to cloud 9.
Yeah.
And Wendy, you found the guy to keep you grounded. That was Jade.
Yes. And your auntie had said Wendy has her head in the clouds.
Yeah.
And Andre has his feet on the ground. Yeah. And both of you need both of those things.
Yeah.
I remember that clearly.
Yeah. And even when I say it now, it's so true.
Yeah.
And like even as we've grown and developed and we're 21 years in, that has pretty much been us. Like there are role reversals in some spaces. Naturally, there would be where one feeds more into the other, or it's just because I'm very impulsive.
Of course, yeah.
So,
which is okay.
No, of course, but it has to be. It's balanced.
It's balanced, but in the early stages of our marriage, we had to learn this stuff,
navigate our way around it.
I remember cooking a curry chicken in our house in the early stages of our marriage, and I remember doing something like at the last minute.
Oh no, because my auntie was coming round for dinner.
Ingredient.
Oh my!
And it mashed. Well, it didn't mash it up, but it just changed the consistency of it. This was one of our first arguments.
Yeah,
like, why would you have done that?
Yeah,
we got family coming over, and I was like, I just wanted to try something out.
I think you put some browning in it.
No, it wasn't. It was I put gravy granules in it because I wanted to thicken the sauce. I remember it clearly. God.
Was it?
And
I
I
was
just mashed up the curry chicken.
Yeah, because I've got a thing anyway about I like good consistency with gravy
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah.
And I must admit, you've improved.
Yeah, we've worked through it.
You've worked
21
through it.
years, I've managed to get the consistency of curry chicken.
Yeah, because I
oxtail
don't
and-
like it when it's watery.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hate
of course,
that
of course.
consistency.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. My auntie was coming round,
Yeah, and
I
wanted to be
she was,
right.
she's was a bit of a connoisseur with her cooking.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was going to ruin, but it didn't. She
No.
enjoyed it. And
We
it
loved
was fine.
it.
Yeah, but that was
those
one
things
of our major
were
ones, yeah.
in the
How
early.
silly.
No, but those things in the early stages of being
Yeah.
together in the home. Some of those.
Do you not
first...
remember another one of yours?
Thanks for cutting me, darling.
That's all right.
Go ahead.
Because normally it's you to me.
Okay.
I just remembered. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Yeah.
One of your ones that I know. Oh my gosh, used to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
You would you would go when, and I'd go like, yeah, call up to you, and then you'll be like, when did you leave this glass here?
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
Why didn't you just move
why
it to
didn't
the
you just
kitchen?
move it? Like,
Because you left it there.
yeah, and then I'd say,
Yeah.
how would you feel if I told you about every single thing that you leave everywhere?
Totally.
I remember that being quite a big
Yeah.
flare up with us.
Again, we're just really navigating early stages of marriage
Yeah.
here. But you know what starts to happen is the love is unquestionable.
Yeah.
But you start looking at the other half like, I don't know what this bit is. Who are you?
We didn't talk about this.
No, we
bit.
didn't talk about this bit.
Yeah.
And again, having God at the centre,
Yeah.
it meant that we could go through these difficult experiences in the early marriage.
And then look, we're talking about it now. They're not
Still,
really.
They weren't major things. They were
No.
not major things because we had spent so much time preparing, but there were things about living together
Yeah.
that you only experience once you're in the home.
Yeah, definitely.
Managing bills, you know.
Bills. Oh
Yeah,
my
just
God.
getting the
still
TV
don't like
connected,
bills.
getting the telephone sorted,
Yeah.
gas, electric. You know, we were renting at that time,
Mm.
like getting all that stuff sorted. We had to get into a pattern,
Yeah.
and it was different. It was really different. But
I remember sometimes
Yeah.
you'd sit down to me to talk about finances, and I'd think, oh my God,
yeah,
this is so boring.
I know.
But not because I didn't want the responsibility.
Yeah.
It just wasn't fast paced enough
No,
for me.
no,
but
no.
the reality is, but Wendy, that's life.
yeah.
That's
and
how life goes. Like you've got to.
you got to find a way.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll talk about that another time because
Yeah.
finances in marriage is so
Oh,
important.
it's so important.
But you know, we began to live the marriage, and it felt like our first 1 to 3 years. It just went very quickly. We always had an anniversary party, so our family
always
could
marked it.
always marked it, so
Yeah.
our family could come back together.
Yeah. Our first one was amazing.
Our first one, yeah, it was like the wedding again.
Yeah,
But
it
everyone
was.
came over to our house. I remember
Yeah.
my grandma being there.
Yeah.
Bless
Oh
her
my
soul,
goodness,
and my
yeah, she's
granddad.
gone now.
And I remember we gave
Oh my
her.
God, Granddad was there. Your
Granddad was there, yeah. So this is my
remember
dad's
this.
parents.
I remember. Do you know why? Because we tried to get them to eat.
That's what I was going to say.
crab.
Yeah, I remember grandma, and God, she had to have been in maybe her 70s.
Yeah, late 70s.
Yeah, and she said, "This is the first time I've ever tasted crab in my life,"
Yeah,
and I
'cause
think
we
you'd
made
made
this-
your
my
crab
signature
salad.
crab salad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So good.
and I loved that they were there for that. Our parents were there, and younger cousins. Everyone just saw
We took a massive
that-
group picture
in the garden.
In the garden.
And, yeah, we
I
still got
remember
that.
Yeah. Wow.
And yeah, and every year we marked it, but the first 3 years went pretty swiftly. Then we got up to about 5 years, and we're like, wow, we're really doing this. Now we're living in this thing.
Yeah, yeah.
We've had a holidays together.
We were working on a music project
We were working
together.
on a music
Cherry
project.
Blackstone.
Absolutely. We were heavily involved in our church
Yeah.
as part of the worship team.
Yeah.
And we really just began to live, to love, and to just enjoy our marriage. We were clear from the beginning, we don't want to have children straight away.
No, we definitely said that.
We said that. We
Yeah,
want to
so
have...
we could put all the.
Yeah.
Are you gonna at bay?
Yeah, let's just have some time.
Yeah, well, we said we talked about this. We said we've got a 7-year plan.
Yeah.
We will play
Yeah.
for the first 5 years, try for a baby on the 6th year,
Yeah.
and celebrate our family on the 7th year. And that is exactly what we did.
Yeah.
But you know what, babe?
Yeah.
I think
Amazing.
what was incredible with that, and that plan inside would have come from you talking about the plan, and then we said, how are we going to do it?
Yeah, but also biologically for you as a woman,
Yeah.
we at the age that we got married,
Yeah.
we were saying like by this time I want to be with
yeah,
child.
of course.
You know?
And actually enjoy.
yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah.
what I love is it wasn't just love for us. We had a friendship.
And we still do. Like
Well, that's why I say you're my best friend.
best friends. Absolutely. Yeah.
But I think that also, as well as our faith in God paramount, and then that underneath of being best friends.
Yeah.
And I don't use that word lightly, best
Yeah.
friends. It's not something that I just
Yeah.
throw around.
Yeah.
And I know why.
yeah.
And that's just to do with myself of protection,
Yeah.
not wanting to feel hurt
Yeah.
or disappointed.
But there's a best friend here
that
that
is on the same page as
and
me
has got you.
and loves me and supports me and
Yeah.
will hear what I've got to say, but also guide me, but with love.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think that is really an important space to have
Yeah.
and to live in.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we've had
yeah.
hours of fun together,
Oh my God.
years of fun
Yeah.
together.
I
Like,
still do.
yeah,
But some
what's
of the best times. The best times. And do you know, bless our beautiful daughter, Heaven.
she gets to see it.
And when she arrived, we so wanted her. We prayed for her. We, she didn't arrive and we went, oh God, everything stops now. No, we'd already had our
Yeah.
first 7 years of really gelling. So when she came, we were just like this. We prayed for you, darling.
And this will be on a completely different episode, but the one thing I will share to know how ready we were for her is she came earlier than her due date.
2 months early.
Yep, she was due September 26th.
Yeah.
My birthday is June the 11th. Heaven arrived July the 11th.
Yes.
And your birthday is August the 11th.
So we are 4 weeks apart.
So if that isn't written, I don't know what is.
No, it's
and
written.
11 is God's number.
Yeah.
One of God's number, 3, 7 and 11. And she was born on July the 11th.
And for sure, we'll definitely talk about Heaven in another episode.
100%.
Her name alone tells you, there was a journey for that child to come into this earth.
But I don't think she could be any more loved if she tried.
Oh, no. And she's a beautiful child.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we, this again is just the early start of our marriage. And I was going to say, actually, this might be a good way to pull this together. I remember when we got to our 7th year, I had heard this idea, and maybe people can project it into marriages, but the 7-year
itch, they call it. I think.
Yeah. And we were like, well, that's not going to happen to us. That's not going to happen to us. You see, when the 7th year came, I don't know what happened, but we definitely had to fight.
We had to dig deep.
We had to dig deep in our faith, in our love, in our friendship. And the most beautiful thing is once we got beyond that, then it just began sailing again.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. But that's real talk. That's what
real
happens.
talk. Yeah. We had to dig deep.
But and then wrapping it up as well, you, as you said in the beginning, you had been very clear from the beginning. You said, I remember you saying it to me and I was thinking, why is he saying that?
Yeah.
You were like, Wendy, divorce will never be a part of our marriage.
Yeah. Because we were having a disagreement.
No, I'm talking about fundamentally at the beginning.
At the beginning, yes.
You said that's not a part of my language.
Yeah.
I don't talk like that. I don't think like that. And I'd be like, that's a really strong statement to make.
Yeah.
Whereas, growing and developing in the early stages, my mindset, and this is before in our prep that we talk about, you get heated. Okay, throw everything
That's why
out
I've
the
said
pram
it's a
and you're just
disagreement.
like, do you know what? I'm out of here.
Yeah, you said,
like,
well,
forget
if you don't, then we should just get a divorce. And I
you were
said
like,
to
why
you,
do you say that?
why do you
said,
say that?
Yeah, and this happened from a flare up, but you'd always been like, your
marriage
approach was always,
it's not part of
calm.
my
You'd
language.
be like, I don't use that.
I don't use that language.
Yeah, so when it's, we won't use the C word, which is calm, because I cannot stand that word.
No, this is another thing that I had to learn in the early marriage. Do not tell.
No woman likes that word.
I'm not going to say for all women, but I'm going to say to my wife
I know women who do not like that word.
In the midst of a confrontation,
do not
Andre, probably don't tell your wife to calm down. You said, don't tell me to calm down. I said, no, but you should be calm. And then,
it's
but
not a good word.
The point is, as you were saying, in terms of divorce, and that has been beautiful for us. It's not in our language.
No.
It's not, that didn't come into the marriage with us.
No.
So there is nothing that we need to go through that ever results in us going, I'm out.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, 100%.
And we've had to look at each other multiple times, baby.
Yeah, we have.
Had to look at each other and say, are we really doing this? Because right now,
I know.
But here we are, by God's grace. 21 years.
Yes.
All right.
As you've helped us so much right from the beginning with At Home with the Harriets, we would like to hear from you. So if there are any questions that you would like to ask us, please DM or send them in the comment section and we'll be sure to answer them.